November, and I'm going to introduce to you guys about the Big Bang. So imagine you have a big balloon. So this is a balloon. So now imagine the balloon is small like a grain of sand, like this. So it's even harder to imagine. Everything in the universe, even stars, every planet, every galaxy, and even you was packed inside that tiny point. So about 13.8 million ago, the tiny point suddenly began to expand. So it started to expand like this, getting bigger and bigger. So what it does is it began to expand and it created the Big Bang. It was not an explosion in space, it was the beginning of space itself. The universe has started its incredible journey.
The newborn universe looks very small and hot. Very hot. Unbelievable hot. And it's like a giant oven. It's so hot that nothing could stay inside because they'll all just burn and die. As the universe expands, cool down. After a few minutes, this universe boom into some small particles that is hydrogen and helium and a small amount of lithium. It's really small amount, so I won't even put it out. And think of it like baking cookies. Before baking cookies, you need flours, a cup of water, and some baking soda. And after you put all of these materials inside the oven, it will produce yummy cookies. That is the idea of how universe was born from like nothing and turned into these small elements. Okay.
I want to introduce about the universe turned on the light. So for hundreds of thousand years, the universe was filled with hot gas. And the light could not travel very far because it kept bumping into particles. Then about 380,000 years after the Big Bang, atoms formed. Suddenly light could move freely across space. It was like a thick fog finally disappearing on a sunny morning. The ancient light still exists today. Suddenly call it the cosmic microwave background, or you can call it CMB. Now I want to introduce about CMB. So CMB is like a baby of the universe, and it will look very many colors like blue and red. So you can know it is very hot. The CMB is like a baby picture of the universe.
So as millions of years had gone past, the gravity pulled the gas together. So as the gas that pulled together, the first star was born and the galaxy was formed. So on our galaxy, even the Milky Way eventually appeared. Later on, the solar system is formed. So we can see that the solar system contains a lot of different planets. And one of it is the Earth, which we live on, which is approximately 5.5 billion years old. So everything around us today came from these elements that created the solar system shortly after the Big Bang.
Okay, now I'm going to talk about the scientists does not just guess this story. They found the evidence that one important clue is called redshift. If you want to know what is redshift, you can imagine that picture. Here, the ambulance is as far as the ambulance reach. The person from the star here will be lower frequency, and the person here closer to the ambulance will have higher frequency. This is called redshift. And when galaxies move away from us, their light shifts toward the red part of the spectrum, and this is called redshift. When Hubble discovered that almost every galaxy is moving away from us. And even more amazing, the farther a galaxy is, the faster it moves away. This tells us about that universe is still expanding today.
Okay, so now let's talk about the smoking gun. The second piece of evidence is the CMB, just like what I talked about. Remember that ancient light from the early universe? Scientists can detect it everywhere in space. No matter which direction they look, they found it. It is like finding warm ashes after a campfire. Even though the fire is gone, the ashes prove it once existed. In the same way, the CMB is leftover heat from the Big Bang. So it is one of the strongest pieces of evidence that the Big Bang really happened.
So after we know a lot about the universe, we're going to talk about the conclusion that we covered. So the universe began for 13.8 billion years ago with the Big Bang.
Yeah, and the first light elements form within minutes and become the building blocks of everything.
And the redshift and cosmic microwave background show that the universe is expanding and began in a hot, dense state.
So from a tiny beginning to the Earth we live on today, the story of the universe is still unfolding, it's still growing bigger and longer and longer. So thank you for today's presentation for you guys to join. Thank you everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.